My name is Lanx, and I graduated from Birmingham with a LLB. I'm currently working for Prudential as its Global Head of Privacy, and I'm also an Adjunct Associate Professor with the National University of Singapore, the School of Law. I would say that in order to be a lawyer, when someone is able to enter into the law school, regardless if it's in Singapore, in UK, in the US, law faculty tends to be one of the hardest to get in. So they are definitely smart people. So that's the baseline, I would say. However, in law schools, what we have learned are the theories of laws, which I will always tell my students that you are not going to use 50, 70% of this legal knowledge outside when you become a lawyer. What we need, or rather what you have been trained in the law schools, is the ability to research, to critically come to your own conclusions after reviewing all the evidence, the facts, the laws. You have a mind of your own. The ability to, because studying law is tough itself, so this tenacity, this resilience that you mentioned needs to be carried on while you go to work. And to be very, very meticulous when you're looking at the laws, the facts, not missing out on any evidence, the ability to draft. So a lot of these items are being trained in the law school. But what wasn't trained in the law schools when you go to work, let's say, example, as a commercial litigator, is the ability to have certain commercial sense. So, for example, when you're preparing a case, the ability to fully understand what is your client case is about. It's beyond just looking at the facts and the law and to piece them together and say, oh, it's like how you sit for exam, how the law applies to the facts. How do you actually come to the conclusion whether is it in your client's favor or not? It's actually, even before you even go into that, in real life, the facts is not about A going to B, A purchase a contract or sign a contract and blah, 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 blah. There's commercial reality. So your ability to fully realize the commercial reality, and the commercial reality can be multiple fronts, can be, for example, like your client financial minds against the opposite side's financial minds. That's one. Another commercial reality is that the legal cost that your client is going to sustain, they need to be fully flagged out to your clients. They might not be fully aware of how much it's going to cost them. And the commercial sense in terms of when a client is explaining some product, some services to you, you need to be fully able to comprehend the product. And it's not just commercial litigations. It's actually every aspect of legal practice to fully understand what your client is telling you, understand what exactly your client wants, and able to show your clients that you are delivering. And this is the soft skill, the people skill. Sometimes what you're advising might be in the best interest of a client, but they might not realize it. It's just like a doctor. It's your job to fully let them understand that you are really acting in their best interest, speaking their lingo, their language, and bring them to the same page as you. Sometimes you have to move yourself, your position, to be at the same page of them, because sometimes clients might have other agendas besides just winning. Sometimes clients might have their considerations, like my reputational risk going to court, for example. So you might not want to go to court. You might ask them, how about consider arbitrations? So it's always putting yourself in the shoes of your clients. And that is the soft skills that I would say even more important than the hard skills that are being taught in the law faculties, in the law schools. And the last point is that when you want to become a partner, which is probably the end game for most lawyers, it's not about how good you are in law anymore. That is the baseline. And some partners that I know can not even be the best lawyers, they are average maybe, but it's about how good you are in getting clients. So if you can build a portfolio of millions of dollars of customers coming to you, and you will be an equity partner in the law firms. So it takes different skill set to succeed in different stages of your life. As a young associate, of course, it's your legal knowledge, your tenacity and stuff like that. But when you reach a certain level, when you want to transit from senior associate or of counsel to become a partner, the most important skill set is actually your clientele building skills. The challenges part are definitely the long hours, the competitiveness. Since law schools, my fellow peers are competitive because they are definitely one of the most brilliant students. That's why we all got into the law schools. And that kind of competitiveness can be both positive and negative. And you're often compared to your peers in terms of like who are made like top 40 lawyers, who are listed on the Legal 500, the chambers, the who's who became the partner first. And after you became partners, who became the equity partner first, who became HR department. Are you working in Magic Circle law firms? Are you working for Silver Circles law firms? It's very competitive. And the demand from your bosses, the partners, are immense. They especially if you're working for, let's say, the top law firm, the Magic Circle law firms, the White Shoes law firms. The amount of hours you need to put can tend to rise into 15 hours, 20 hours a day. So it will probably be very taxing on your physical and mental health. And the quality of work that you provide, bear in mind you're billing the customer hundreds of thousands, depending on what leveling you are, which law firm you are, of per hour. So the quality of work you need to give is, of course, need to be top notch. And most importantly, as I mentioned, that is about clientele building for the partner level. For the junior associate or senior associate of counsel level, or even junior partners, a lot of time your performance is basically tagged to your billable hours. How many hours you can bill per month? It's a business. The law firm is not going to hire someone who doesn't bill anything for a year or didn't meet the billing target by a huge margin, not just a big shortfall, but a huge margin. And that will probably cost you your job. But when you are a top performer, undeniably, besides baseline, good legal drafting skill, good leadership skill, good advocacy skill, your billable hour must be excellent. And one day there's only 24 hours. And there's a lot of work that is unbillable. So it's very easy to work out the maths that how much hours you need to put in to have a very good, excellent billable hours.